The Syrian civil war is a complex, multi-sided conflict that began in 2011. It started with pro-democracy protests and quickly escalated into a full-scale war, drawing in numerous local and international powers. Here is a simplified explanation of the key events and players. The beginning, 2011. The war began with peaceful protests against the government of President Bashar al-Assad, inspired by the Arab Spring uprisings. The government responded with a violent crackdown, which caused some protesters to take up arms, leading to an armed rebellion. The main factions. The conflict is not a simple two-sided war. The key players are the Syrian government, led by President Bashar al-Assad. It has maintained control over most major cities with the help of powerful allies. Rebel groups. This is a broad term for hundreds of armed groups that want to overthrow the government. They range from secular, pro-democracy fighters to more hardline Islamist factions. Kurdish forces, primarily located in northeastern Syria, the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, have focused on fighting ISIS and securing their own autonomous region. ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, an extremist group that took advantage of the chaos to seize large parts of Syria, becoming a major military force and a common enemy for many factions. International involvement. The war became a proxy conflict between major world powers. Russia and Iran. These countries have been the Assad government's most important allies, providing critical military, financial, and diplomatic support that helped turn the tide of the war. The United States. The U.S. has supported some rebel groups and, more significantly, partnered with the Kurdish-led forces, SDF, to fight ISIS. Turkey. Initially a supporter of the rebels, Turkey's main focus has shifted to preventing Kurdish territorial gains near its border. Other countries, Gulf states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, have provided support to various rebel groups. The war's trajectory. 2011 to 2013, the war intensifies, and rebel groups make significant territorial gains, especially in the north and parts of the east. 2014 to 2015, ISIS rises to prominence, capturing large areas and becoming the focus of a U.S.-led international coalition. In 2015, Russia enters the war directly on the side of the government, providing crucial air support. 2016 to 2018, with Russia's help, the Syrian government systematically retakes key cities like Aleppo and recaptures most of the territory it had lost. 2019-present, the front lines of the war have largely frozen. The conflict is now a tense standoff with ongoing violence in some areas, but no clear end in sight. The consequences. The Syrian civil war has created one of the worst humanitarian crises of our time. It has resulted in over 500,000 deaths. More than 13 million Syrians being forced to flee their homes, with millions becoming refugees in other countries. The widespread destruction of cities, infrastructure, and the economy. Include important events like Assad ones. Following my previous explanation, here are some of the most significant events in the Syrian civil war that are directly tied to the actions of the Assad government. The initial crackdown, 2011. The war's true beginning was the Assad government's response to the pro-democracy protests. Instead of engaging with the demonstrators' demands for reform, the government used lethal force, including security forces firing on crowds and a mass arrest campaign. This violent crackdown drove the opposition to arm themselves, transforming the political crisis into a civil war. The Ghouta chemical attack, 2013. This event is a major turning point in the war and a key moment of international condemnation. On August 21, 2013, rockets containing the nerve agent sarin struck rebel-held suburbs of Damascus, killing over 1,000 people. International investigations later attributed the attack to the Syrian government. This attack crossed a red line previously set by the United States and prompted a deal to remove and destroy Syria's declared chemical weapons stockpile. The siege and fall of Aleppo, 2016. For years, Syria's largest city, Aleppo, was divided between government and rebel forces. The Assad government, with critical air support from Russia and ground support from Iran-backed militias, launched a brutal campaign to retake the city. The months-long siege resulted in a devastating humanitarian crisis. The government's final recapture of all of Aleppo in December 2016 was a massive strategic victory for Assad, seen as a sign that he would remain in power. The Khan Sheikhan attack, 2017. In April 2017, a chemical attack using sarin gas struck the rebel-held town of Khan Sheikhan, killing over 80 civilians. The United States and other nations held the Assad government responsible. In response, the U.S. launched cruise missile strikes against the Syrian airbase believed to have been used to carry out the attack. This was the first direct U.S. military strike against the Assad government. The consolidation of power, 2018 to 2024. After the victory in Aleppo, the Assad government focused on retaking other major rebel strongholds, including the besieged suburbs around Damascus and the southern city of Dara. Through a combination of military pressure and reconciliation deals that forced rebels to surrender, the government regained control over much of central and southern Syria. While fighting continues in some areas, this period marked a significant consolidation of the Assad regime's authority.